You're listening to BYU-Idaho Radio. I'm Nathan Lenahan, and today I'm joined on the phone by Jennifer Curtis. She's the president of the executive committee for North Star International. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Nathan.
So before we get into North Star International Organization, talk about what that's about, I was wondering if we could just get some background information on yourself so our listeners can learn some more about you.
Yeah, so I'm from Southern California. I was born and raised there, except for a small stint where I lived in Utah for 7 years as my husband and I were going to school. I've been married for a little over 30 years now to the same guy, and probably about 18 years into our marriage, I came out and told him that I experienced same-sex attraction and tried a ride as I figured out what that meant for myself, being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and what that meant for how I saw the same-sex attraction, and of course, threw in the marriage part of that. What did that mean for us? We had 2 kids who were kind of in their teenage years, and what did we say to them? What was going to happen? And it took me a good 5 to 10 years to actually figure all of that out. And I'm glad I took the time because I'm an active member of the church. I'm still married, and my kids are fully aware of my experience, and I'm supported by all of them in this job that I'm now doing as the president of the executive committee with North Star.
Yeah, and so could you tell us what exactly is North Star International?
Yeah, so North Star International is an organization. It's a nonprofit, and we really are trying to help the LDS LGBT community. We help the individuals, family, friends, and we help them as they go about their journey of reconciliation between their sexuality or gender dysphoria and their Latter-day Saint faith.
And have you found that there's a pretty big need for an organization like this?
Yes. If you look at the numbers that as people have done studies and stuff, there's probably on average about 4 people who experience same-sex attraction almost in any ward. So it's so broad, and so many people have family members, and that this definitely is a place that people are looking for, that they're trying to understand themselves or their kids as they come out and start talking about their experiences of same-sex attraction or gender dysphoria.
And are there other organizations like this?
There are organizations out there that also help faith-affirming members of the church who are trying to reconcile these issues. The difference is that North Star International is actually the only one out there that talks about the covenant path and encourages the community to continue to keep their covenants or even work at making their covenants as they are figuring out their sexuality.
Yeah, that's perfect because I was going to ask what makes North Star different from those other ones, and that seems like a particularly important point to emphasize if you're going to be working with members of the church.
Yes, it is important because there's a lot of information out there and a lot of groups. They say a lot of things, but our membership definitely they're the ones who say, I want to keep my temple recommend. I want to continue down this path. I just don't know how to do it. And so we've got a community of people who will talk to you about that and will support you in choosing that path. It's not for everyone, and we all know that. Not everyone stays in that space, but it is where we encourage, because so many of us in the organization have really found that is what we desired and what we've worked at achieving. And maybe some of us have found a few answers of what that looks like and how to move forward when you come out and you're faced with this daunting idea about, maybe I have to leave the church in order to be myself, where I know my sexuality, and I know that I'm married, and I know that that's the place that is bringing me, I'll stay in my I statements, bringing me my a level of happiness that I didn't know I could I could actually have. It's one of those moments of, it felt impossible, and now that I'm 10 years down the road of coming out, God really can do impossible things.
Yeah. And how does North Star work with people to help them through these trials and questions that they have?
So North Star has many ways for people to come together to talk. We have our online communities, so you can sign up to our private Facebook groups, which allows people to talk amongst themselves. We have demographic groups, meaning that if you're a married man who experiences same-sex attraction, there's a demographic group for that, separate from the SSA women, and so on and so forth. We have a parents group of parents with gender identity kids, parents with same-sex attracted kids, so that you can really meet other people who are going through the same type of experience and openly just talk about what that is like for you. If you have questions, there'll be people on there who've been on this path for a while, and they might be able to give you ideas or help in that way. And then we also have in-person events. Like we're having a summer social come up here in June, up in Utah. And we have single adult summit that we do once a year for all of our single brothers and sisters. So almost every month we have some type of event. Sometimes they're online events. And we do about 3 to 4 temple fellowship days a year. So that means we invite people to go to the temple together, and if you can't go in the temple, still come. Someone will be out there to walk outside the temple with you if you'd like, and then we all go out to lunch or something afterwards. So we really are trying to have the temple be a backstop for people that want to have that experience and are really striving to stay in that space. And we also have a yearly conference that should be happening here in April 2027, that people can attend and kind of take classes on different topics.
Right.
So we're always trying to do something.
Yeah. And I guess, have you seen a lot of change and, I guess, ways that this organization has helped people going through these problems?
I have. I've seen people come together and rally around individuals and families. I've seen people's marriages that were falling apart getting helped, and people who come in who feel like they're a mess and that the world around them is falling apart, end up finding that they're not alone, because so many people tell the story that they thought that they were the only member of the church who was gay. And when they all of a sudden find that there are so many other people, they're like, oh, I don't feel alone anymore. And not feeling alone and feeling that you belong somewhere has a power to it. And watching that in people's lives bring hope and understanding is amazing to watch.
And so the organization North Star International, how does it do internationally outside of America?
Yeah, so we have people in South America, which we refer to as like a Spanish speaking community. A couple of years ago, we had a conference for them in Lima, Peru. It was a 1 day conference that we had speakers come. Brother Halverson, Brother Jared Halverson, who has a well-known podcast, he came down and spoke at it. Quite a few people told their stories, and it's the biggest gathering that we've been able to have with the Spanish community. And then we also have a group of people in the Netherlands that have started getting together, and we have uh, a, a brother in France who is working on bringing community together there. We're doing our best to keep spreading it into other regions and truly be an international organization. And we have been so excited to see these people in countries that are smaller really meeting each other and trying to help one another in their own language.
Yeah. And I guess last, what would you just want, I guess, the community to know about this organization and the work that you're doing?
We want people to know that we exist. If you have any family, uh, parents, siblings, anyone that you knew growing up as an individual, or anyone that you're speaking with now, that if you think that somebody is struggling, like there's an organization here that can help support and help build community for them as they work through their sexual orientation and gender dysphoric issues. There's just people here ready to tell you their story and ready to listen and hear yours, so that you don't need to feel alone. There's no need for that. And sometimes it's hard for people to open up and to talk about what's going on in their lives. And I just want people to know that there's a community here in the church who gets it, who understands, and is ready with open arms to say, how can I support you? And because I know for myself, when I found the community, it was so huge of an impact on my life. Some of my dearest friends I still have, as they helped me through my process. And I just want that to be there for other people.
Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing all this with us.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for having me.